Newcastle are heading towards relegation. I'm StattoJoe. You're a legend for watching this video, and today I'm going to be looking at some of the stats from last night's game between Manchester United and Newcastle United. A game that was won by United 3-1. Sorry, Manchester United 3-1. And it's just a strange all-round game in general. Overall, I think United deserve a win. Just because the last 30 minutes, Newcastle didn't do anything. After Man United scored their second goal, then Newcastle were just sort of left sapped of energy because they'd really brought in the high press. But I think what I really want to talk about the problems with Newcastle now. I think we're looking at a team that are getting closer and closer to relegation, and their performances don't seem to add up to a team that are fighting for a place. I think the first 60 minutes there was a bit of fight shown for sure. And I think the performances have been a lot better. But, a good performance with no points doesn't really matter at this stage. There's very few games left to get points and to get themselves out of the relegation zone. Let's have a look at some of the stats for the game. We'll go half by half. I always like looking at the half by half breakdown, just sort of seeing where games changed and things. And obviously, if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I'm going to be starting on the attack momentum meter. You really do love to see it. Yeah, I think first half was a bit. I think that's actually a decent reflection, and I'm not really sure that Manchester United really did much. In this case, United are in the green and Newcastle are in the blue, and I do think we saw periods of the game where Newcastle dominated and had chances and brought the game to Manchester United, and then you can see in the second half, I would say Manchester United goal around here, and from then on, the game was then put to bed, really. So yes, fair enough. Probably a fair reflection of the game. I do think it looks more dominant than it actually was because I didn't really feel that Manchester United actually played overly well, and I thought Newcastle played better than what that appears to be. But also, I think there's an element of bias here because I'm so used to watching the Newcastle side that are just rubbish. The game against Chelsea during Monday night was awful, and there's a big difference certainly. But yeah, overall, still obviously not good enough. You're not winning games. Let's go half by half because I think that'll give us a reflection of the game. And the first stat we always look at is possession, and possession is always the most common stat. And you can see in the first half it was 71-29 split. But the big thing actually is what you do with the ball. It's all very well having possession, but if you just have that ball in your own half, it doesn't actually matter because you can play the ball all you want, but if you're not creating chances and you're not scoring goals, you're not going to win games. And you certainly see in this game anyway, Newcastle had more shots than United in the first half, had more shots on target, and more corners. And when you look at attacking, Newcastle actually had the better of the attack in the first half. But when it comes to having the ball, Manchester United had the ball for the majority of the half, and you can see Newcastle only managed 96 accurate passes in the whole first half. So that's 2 accurate passes a minute, which is I don't think I've seen a stat that low since the Liverpool Aston Villa FA Cup game where it was the Aston Villa under 23s. Manchester United with a really good passing accuracy, 88%. Newcastle's is horrid, 72. And yeah, I think overall, what you're saying is that on the attacking front, Newcastle were actually the better side. Bit of a poor mistake from Carl Darlow to let that first goal in, and I think it was pretty poor defending as well from Kraft for Rashford's goal, but a great finish. And then Newcastle's goal was not particularly great defending from Harry Maguire, but a great finish from Saint-Maximin. And half-time 1-1, as a Newcastle fan myself, thought there was a bit of hope there. I thought we played a lot better than we were used to. I actually thought Joe Linton had a really good game. And I know he's not very well liked by the Newcastle faithful, but I actually thought he played really well and had a decent enough game. So overall, I thought it was decent. I thought it was good, and I couldn't really complain from a fan perspective. I think interestingly, the stats maybe show a United dominance, but it was only really a dominance on the ball. It wasn't really dominance in the attack. And then I think it changes in the second half. So possession's exactly the same, but this time Manchester United do a lot more with the ball, and you can see that they've pretty much won every single stat that matters. 10-4 shots, 5-2 shots on target, 5 corners. Newcastle didn't manage any big chances. They had 2 big chances, which is good. And even passing wise, an 86% passing accuracy and a 66 from Newcastle. So Newcastle only managed 186 accurate passes in the whole game, which was less than what Manchester United managed in either half. 186 to 600. That's so bad. 66% passing accuracy, which is also woeful, and with Manchester United offering 86%, which is fantastic. So yeah, overall, like Manchester United really did then dominate that second half. But I think the first 10 minutes were all Newcastle. I think they really brought the game to Manchester United. They really gave them a difficult time, and then a bit of a fortunate goal. And the second goal for Manchester United was a bit fortunate, but I've seen a lot of people online blaming Jamal Lewis and his positioning for that goal. But I actually think he did the right thing. He was closing down Bruno Fernandes, who managed to fluky touch. Maybe he's not fair, but his touch certainly put it into the path of Dan James, and it was a decent finish. And then the penalty, whilst was soft, it still was a penalty. I'm not going to pretend that it wasn't a penalty. And yeah, I think it's a strange game because I was gutted afterwards in terms of the result, because it was a good performance apart from the last half an hour. But it was just like, United never really felt like losing. Even when they weren't playing particularly well, I never really thought, well, they're not gonna win this game. And it certainly did feel to me like they deserved the win. For Newcastle, I don't know what they're gonna do. It's so bad that you rely so heavily on one player. You've seen it, but certainly, with Liverpool, their team changes when Van Dijk's not there. With Newcastle, they change when Callum Wilson's not there, and it makes a big difference. Whenever you're not scoring goals, you're not going to win a game, and whenever you're relying on defensive errors, we could call them, from the opposition for goals, that's not going to get you anywhere. But this has been constant. It's been a long time coming. It hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. The only difference is there's a bit of art now, which is good to see, but results aren't changing. And there's only one way that Newcastle are going down, and that's 2 weeks ago there was 10 points between Newcastle and Fulham. If you look at the table, so 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago there was 10 points separating these two clubs, and now there's 3. So yeah, that's a worrying sight. Fulham haven't lost now in 4 games, which is fair play to them. They're starting to play some really good stuff, and they actually do look like they're not going to get relegated. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. But yeah, it's just from a Newcastle perspective, not good enough. But what about Manchester United? Well, it keeps them in second place, and it keeps City 10 points clear. There's, I think 3 more points there, and I think it's, City are just going to definitely win the league. But there's a bet now where you could, if City maybe dropped a couple of points, which isn't looking like it's going to happen, but if they did, then it could be interesting. Just if Manchester United can keep winning games and not drop points to the lower teams. And that was what was really important for them today, was to not drop points. So there are my overall thoughts on yesterday's game, which, yeah, just it is what it is, really. Let me know what you think, what you thought in the comments. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It will really help me out. And if you have any suggestions for future video ideas or anything you'd like to see, just let me know in the comments, and I'll certainly see what I can do. But it's Champions League this week, so tomorrow we'll be back for Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, and then on Wednesday, Manchester City versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. So I will see you for those videos.